boys see a parked car between two trees and a terrifying sight. Partially underneath the vehicle, there lies a young man in a pool of blood with an apparent head wound.
Ominously, his hands are tied behind his back with a belt.
The boys run to the nearest phone and call police to the Vineyard Road location near what is known as Hill 57.
The police call for an ambulance. They find the victim's wallet and identification with him.
The ambulance arrives quickly, but it's far too late. The victim is dead, and has been so for about 12 hours. The three boys that found the body while hiking are questioned and then sent on their way.
The young man is identified as 18-year-old Lloyd Dwayne Bogle, an airman at the nearby Malmstrom Air Force Base.
Lloyd Dwayne Bogle is known to have a steady girlfriend, and they're frequently seen in each other's company.
In fact, they were together the night before, on January 2nd.
Bogle's girlfriend's name is Patricia Galinsky.
Police contact the Kalitsky family. They learn that their 16-year-old daughter, Patricia, is missing. She is last seen in her boyfriend Lloyd Bogle's company. Upon hearing of Lloyd's murder, the family is frantic.
The victim's car has its ignition and headlights on, the emergency brake deployed. Sheriff's officers thoroughly search the area for clues about the killer or any trace of Patricia Kalitsky, but they find nothing.
There is $5 in Lloyd Bogle's wallet and an expensive camera in the car. So this is clearly not a crime of robbery.
Obviously, they did not have the technology, they did not have the training, they didn't document like we do now. It would have been a difficult scene to investigate.
Investigators find nothing except a motor mount bolt found near Bogle's body and are unsure if this is related to the crime or not.
Patricia's parents don't report her missing until the next night because they believe the young couple has eloped. The Kalitsky family is holding out hope that Patricia is not with Lloyd when the murders occur, or at the very least has been kidnapped and will be found alive later.
Malmstrom Air Force Base authorities join police in the investigation. Lieutenant R.M. Thomas of the Police Identification Bureau and Deputy Sheriff Harlan McDonough also search the murder location, but find nothing to add to the investigation. The day after the discovery of Lloyd Bogle's body, at about 1:30 p.m., a county road patrol operator is grading a county road.
About 5 miles north of Mount Royal, Browning notices a piece of blue cloth at the bottom of an embankment. He inspects closer and finds a body.
And as he looks down this large embankment, he sees the body of a female. He goes down, checks on her. She's deceased.
Officers are notified and speed to the scene. Of course, what everyone is wondering, is this the missing Patricia?
The body is found 300 yards northwest of the Great Falls Trap and Sneak Club. Officers discover that the body down the embankment is high school student Patricia Kalitsky.
There is little doubt that these two killings are related, and this is a double murder. Police examine the scene for clues. Patricia Kalitsky's body is fully dressed. She does not appear to have been sexually assaulted, either before or after the murder. Like Bogle, she has an apparent head wound that appears to be from a bullet.
Police discover a trail of blood in the grass. It looks like she is shot, dragged to the edge, and thrown down the embankment.
The
as far as evidence recovered at that scene, they did not find a lot. It appeared to be more like a dump site.
Everyone's hopes of finding 16-year-old Patricia alive have been crushed. The question is, who could have hated these two young lovers enough to kill them?
Law enforcement had a hard time determining what the possible motive was at that time. They weren't sure if they were dealing with multiple subjects or if they were dealing with one person. They really weren't sure what the cause of this was.
One of the difficulties about this case is there were many suspicious people in the area, so a lot of suspects.
Rumor has it that this was a place for a lot of people that lived in the Chicago area that would come out to this area to lay low, if you will. There was a lot of interesting characters that were in this area and known criminals.
A lot of known criminals and 2 dead teenagers.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us. Woo! Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's a perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have flip phones like the Iris Flip. If you're someone that doesn't need all that mumbo-jumbo and just wants something simple. And now, we even have watches.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our Smart Flex feature, you don't have to sweat it. Like say you're on a road trip out west and end up using a bunch of data. We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty. So you only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Will our award-winning customer service help me switch over or add a line for $15 to make my own family plan?
Of course they will.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
You see that tower out there? It's a beauty. And there are thousands more like it, working hard for me and you, supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We know how important coverage is. That's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
And for a limited time, new customers get their second month free. Call 800-311-5340. Find us in Target or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
A better banking app is right at your fingertips. Download Dave, and you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. No interest, credit checks, or late fees. Download the Dave app now or go to dave.com today.
This is Litter Robot, the highest rated self-cleaning litter box that removes the chore of scooping and helps you have a cleaner home. After your cat exits, Litter Robot automatically cycles, separating the clean litter from the dirty clumps, dropping them into the tightly sealed drawer below, meaning your cat always has a fresh bed of litter. Litter Robot is perfect for single or multi-cat households, and its sleek appearance allows you to place it anywhere in your home. Never scoop again with Litter Robot.
Pain was keeping me off my game. And now I'm winning again. Blue Emu's the powerful relief I need.
Shop our expanded family of products at major online retailers.
At Drive Time, you can do a lot in 30 seconds right on your phone. Like get approved, then start shopping thousands of cars with road terms, all with no hit to your credit in as little as 30 seconds. But this is a 15-second ad. It sure is. Go to drivetime.com and do a lot in not a lot of time.
As you get older, your liver health becomes an increasingly important part of the aging process. We created Dose for your liver to make taking care of your liver easy. Dose is an organic blend of liver-supporting ingredients and is clinically backed to promote healthy liver function so that nothing's holding you back.
Strapless bras never fit small-chested women.
Meet the bra that you can count on by Pepper, the bra company for AA to B cups. The MVP strapless bra has boob-hugging lift with no cup gaps.
You need to try Pepper bras.
Go to wearpepper.com.
They're called Shynasty hammock underwear. Soft, sweat-wicking, breathable underwear with a supportive pouch built in. You don't realize you need new underwear until you try these. Love your first pair or they're free. Upgrade to hammock underwear at shynasty.com.
Hikers discover a brutally murdered body that police quickly identify as 18-year-old Lloyd Dwayne Bogle, an airman assigned to Malmstrom Air Force Base. Police learn that Bogle is last seen with his girlfriend, Patricia Kalitsky, who is missing. There is brief hope that somehow Patricia has eluded the killer, but the next day, her body is found 7 miles away from where her boyfriend Lloyd is murdered.
People were afraid. Obviously, they knew that there was a murder on the loose, and people weren't sure how to take it. People were leaving their doors unlocked. There wasn't a lot of crime, and now you have 2 teenagers that are murdered.
Lloyd Dwayne Bogle was born on January 18th, 1937, in Navarro County, Texas, and lives in Waco, Texas. He has one brother, Jimmy Bogle. Bogle has been stationed at the Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana since April 16th, 1955, assigned to the 29th Fighter Interceptor Squadron.
Lloyd is so young that Malmstrom is likely his first posting since finishing basic training in technical school, but he's growing up fast.
While stationed at Malmstrom, he meets Patricia Kalitsky, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Henry Kalitsky. Patricia is a popular Great Falls High School junior.
He's described as being smitten with Patricia. They seem well suited. They both like dancing and music. The young couple feel so well suited they're discussing marriage, so much so that their parents fear they might be eloping. And that may have been causing some conflict at home.
Her family was pretty strict. She had actually got grounded because she had stayed out past curfew. So leading up to the homicide, that was the first night she had been out in a week.
On Monday, January 2nd, the couple go together to a Great Falls drive-in for a cup of coffee.
Maybe they're discussing their future life together. Marriage is definitely in the air. Later, it seems likely they drove to a local lover's lane. And that's where their killer came upon them.
Police pore over Bogle's car for clues, but nothing is found. Officers find an abandoned car near the scene with a bullet hole in it, but the car has been sold and resold so many times, no lead come of it. There is little to go on. A recommendation is made for an autopsy.
It's hoped that this will produce something substantial for the police. These are both execution-style murders. Bogle's hands are tied behind his back and he's forced to kneel and then shot from behind.
The coroner finds Bogle is shot in the head, probably between 10 p.m. and midnight on Monday, and he's left alive, but dies between 2 and 4 a.m. on Tuesday.
The bullet enters near the back of the head. It is unknown if the second hole in Bogle's skull is caused by an exit or a piece of bone. The bullet is missing.
There are indications that Patricia was shot about an hour after Lloyd, and probably forced to watch the shooting of her boyfriend. From the scrapes to her body, it looks like Patricia tried to run through brush or jump from a car to escape. But, like Lloyd, Patricia is forced to kneel and is shot in the back of the head.
With both victims, the bullet passes through the head, leaving nothing from which ballistic tests can determine the type of weapon. Measurements of the bullet holes indicate the gun to be about a .45 caliber size.
Authorities know there is a strong possibility that she was sexually assaulted, but a vaginal swab, standard procedure for autopsies in 1956, reveals an even greater shock. Patricia has not just been sexually assaulted, but raped, and a small sperm sample is preserved on a microscopic slide.
Newspapers at the time don't say that Patricia was raped, for reasons we can only surmise now. Perhaps that information was deemed too inappropriate to put in print at the time. Or maybe there was a desire to protect or shield the family from the shame of rape in a small town in the 1950s.
The coroner's jury deems an investigation should be continued until such person or persons be prosecuted by the county attorney's officer to the full extent of the law. Two police sergeants, Fred Pears and Jack Anderson, are permanently assigned to the investigation under Sheriff T.J. Leeper's supervision. Leeper puts every available officer on the case.
Many law enforcement officers in the area join in the investigation. Sheriff's officers, with city detectives on loan, carefully follow up on hundreds of tips that are pouring in. Several people claim to have eyewitness accounts, but these turn out to be hoaxes.
Witnesses with false memories or distortions can truly believe their version of events. This hoax may be the result of a shocked community just trying to put this horrible crime behind them. Police interview Patricia's family and her friends, but they come up with nothing. No one can imagine why anyone would kill these two young people.
The evening of January 4th, police pick up and hold a person of interest.
They've found him in the area and he has scratches on his face.
The suspect initially says he hurt himself in a car accident. But under questioning, he says that a woman scratched him a few days earlier at a party. Nothing, however, comes of it.
Police don't stop there. They go on to find multiple suspects. It turns out there are some very dangerous people in the area.
Edward Wayne Edwards, who was arrested for burglary in Montana in 1956 and serves time at the Montana State Prison, is investigated as a possible suspect.
Edwards will later be known as a prolific murderer, but in 1956, he was flying under the radar.
Air Force Base officials conduct their own investigation. They discover a man who argues with Lloyd just days before the murder. He is held at the Air Force Base. There's another possible suspect, as police interview a mutual friend of the couple and remove blood-stained shoes and pants from this person's home for testing with the FBI. The victim's clothing is also sent for testing. The motor mount bolt found near Bogle's body is theorized to have come from the vehicle of a youth who dislikes Lloyd Bogle and is sent to the FBI for examination. A former Malmstrom Air Force Base airman, Floyd J. Robertson, 25, who is now in jail, is interviewed in connection with this crime.
Unexpectedly, he admits to kidnapping 18-year-old Marjorie Schneider. He abducted Marjorie from the Lover's Lane, later shooting her in the head because he couldn't stand to see anyone else having fun. Robertson appears to be a strong candidate for the Kalitsky-Bogle murders.
Notorious gangster James Whitey Bulger, who's charged with rape in Great Falls 5 years earlier, is also a suspect.
Sheriff Leeper has some strong leads. He even looks at Patricia's family. He requests a lie detector test because he is convinced he will be interviewing for a confession.
But the shocking response from the FBI forensic testing is not one single suspect can be substantiated. Not even Floyd J. Robertson, who is known as the Lover's Lane Killer in Another Place and Time, can be placed at this crime scene.
A cash reward to find the killer of Patricia and Lloyd is over the $1,000 mark, a lot for the time. But try as the police may, their leads dwindle.
The case that had so many promising suspects is now out of clues and out of leads.
Although the officers are unwilling and unable to forget these victims, they have no other options.
And it's incredible just how many years will pass.
To put that much effort into something, and you can't help but become emotional attached at some point, that it can be frustrating and disappointing when a case does go cold.
New features in the Weight Watchers app just dropped.
In the My Progress tab, I can see just how far I've come. I've lost 60 pounds and I can still enjoy all of the foods that I love.
My Progress helps you see what's working, making your weight loss journey easier. So all you gotta do is you. Join Weight Watchers today.
I was seeing this bra all over my Instagram feed. I'm sure you're seeing it too.
This is the most comfortable bra I've ever put on in my life.
I love it because, one, it's not underwire. I hate underwire.
It smooths out your back. It doesn't give you back fat or back rolls. You can wear this under a t-shirt and it wouldn't leave any marks or bulges. So not only is it super supportive, lifting and smoothing, but you have all that without an underwire and without a ton of padding.
If you're looking at this and it's available, I promise you won't regret it.
Try risk-free. Free returns on all orders.
Time to start eating better? If only it were that easy. Fresh and Lean thinks it is. Meals with fresh organic ingredients delivered to your door, ready to heat and eat in under 3 minutes. So if you're looking to eat healthier, we got you. How easy is that? Fresh and Lean.
My friends call me Zam. I naturally hold a lot of stress in my digestive system, as a lot of women do. When I travel, I get constipated, I get really poop shy. When I started taking DSO1, I immediately noticed how much lighter I felt, vibrant, alive. It really helps me stay regular, and you're not bloated at all. I honestly recommend DSO1 to everyone.
Never wear jeans again with 80s turn it up pants. Instant polish with busy mornings and big meetings. Wrinkle-free, effortless style that will replace your favorite jeans. This is ADAY.com.
Meet Omnilux Contour, an LED light therapy mask clinically proven to reduce fine lines and wrinkles. Find out how you can improve your skin at OmniluxLED.com.
Want an epic deal? Well, right now at Fabletics, you can get 70% off every single thing. From our best-selling jumpsuits to our iconic leggings and sports bras and everything in between. Shop 70% off at Fabletics.com today.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch online. That's it. No phone calls and no wasted time. Go to Insurify and save today.
Waiting till Friday to get paid is tricky. I'm a music teacher who plays gigs, and I need to get paid before the weekend to rent equipment, or else I have to cancel. With Chime, I get paid 2 days early with no fees. Now I can make an every weekend gig. Join me at Chime.com.
This is not a dryer sheet. Earthbreeze is a new type of laundry detergent that looks like this. It's also so easy to use. Dissolves quickly in any wash. And my personal favorite, no plastic jug. Learn more at earthbreeze.com.
A Talkspace therapist will be in your corner for whatever comes up and be a place for you to vent day or night when you need to. Talkspace is covered by most insurance plans and may be no cost to you. Go to Talkspace.com to get started.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not even in a doctor's office. I'm standing on the streets talking to real people about their heart. How's your heart?
My heart's pretty good.
You sure?
I think so.
How do you know? You're driving a car, you have the check engine light. But the heart doesn't have a hey, check heart sign. I want to show you something. Put both fingers right on those pads. There you go. In 30 seconds, we're going to have a medical grade EKG reading. There it is. That is you.
Look at that.
With Cardio Mobile, you can take a medical grade
rate EKG in just 30 seconds from anywhere. KardioMobile is proven to detect atrial fibrillation, one of the leading causes of stroke. And it's the only personal EKG that's FDA cleared to detect normal heart rhythm, bradycardia, and tachycardia.
How much do you think this device costs?
Probably $1,000.
$99.
Wow, that's impressive.
Checking your heart anytime, anywhere has never been easier. Don't wait. Get KardioMobile today for just $79 at Kardia.com or Amazon.
To prove that there is such a thing as free money, we give people a little sample of Ibotta.
Hi, would you like to try a sample?
What is it?
Ibotta.
I can just take this. Is this real?
Yes, you're not allergic, right?
Get cash back every time you shop with Ibotta.
We're excited to do business with you, but before we sign, I gotta ask.
Sure, anything.
We searched you online, and maybe you can explain this?
Can't believe that garbage is still coming in. That is so false.
Frustrated with your online search results? Call Reputation Defender today to join tens of thousands who've improved their online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 1-877-866-8555.
Coming up next on True Crime Network.
There is an abundance of tips in the investigation into the slaying of two teens in 1956. But not one suspect could be substantiated, and the case falters. Although law enforcement is driven to find an answer, there is little trace of the killer.
For the officer, this is a cold case. He can't let go. It's a cold case, but no one can stop looking at it.
For decades, the Cascade County Sheriff's Office continued to examine this case. Multiple detectives attempt to make progress over the years.
There you go. Give it some good air. But they can't gain any ground. Okay. Time passes.
33 years pass. In 1989, law enforcement officers cut down an 80-foot cottonwood tree near where Bogle is killed, hoping to extract the bullet that killed him. And that has always been missing.
They actually brought a clairvoyant type in at the time, had her actually hold Patty Kalitsky's petticoat. It was kind of a blue, longer coat, which we obviously wouldn't have some clothing evidence in today's age, but she actually described the answer to be in the tree.
So officers look to the tree for the answer.
With a bullet, authorities can determine the caliber of the murder weapon. There is a possibility it can be matched with the weapon seized sometime over the last 33 years. And then everything opens up.
This case is 3 decades old, but the Cascade County Sheriff is still thinking of ways to solve it.
Once we hit the 33-year mark on the tree, we should see an entry if the bullet went into the tree. A hole, a tunnel.
Gamma ray testing in the cottonwood tree surprisingly yields 5 bullets.
They are sent to the FBI for testing, but they come up with no matches for the bullets. Another dead end.
Time passes again. In 2001, now 42 years since the rape and double murder, another officer takes an action.
DNA technology is slowly changing, and Detective Phil Madison sends the vaginal swab to the Montana State Crime Room. Lab technicians find a single sperm cell and determine that it does not belong to Bogle.
They were able to develop a DNA profile from that, which was ultimately entered into CODIS, and there were never any hits on that DNA.
But they can't gain any ground. Time passes.
Forward 56 years from the crime, Detective Sergeant John Cadner is assigned to the Kalitsky-Bogle rape and murder case in 2012.
This is his very first cold case. A cold case officer has to have certain qualities.
You have to have somebody that is relentless in trying to turn over every stone. You have to look at every possibility, you have to look at every document, determine a possible motive to develop those leads. One of the first things my lieutenant comes in at the time and he says, I want you to start reviewing this case and we're going to solve it someday. So that started my process of looking through these numerous boxes of old documents and reports, and I quickly realized the best course of action was to digitize everything. So that began a months-long process of scanning all those documents into a digital format.
In fact, it took 6 months to digitize everything. Though Cadner is given other cases, he keeps looking at the Kalitsky-Bogle case. He believes DNA is the way in.
My first impression was that the only way we're going to ever solve this is through the use of DNA.
The mindset of the file was that over the years it has been gone through hundreds of times and we still don't have a viable suspect.
But this story is far from over. It is 2019 when Cadner observes the progress of another cold case.
You see the use of genetic genealogy in the Golden State Killer investigation, which really got the ball rolling again.
Just as Cadner had anticipated, it's DNA that is able to unlock Joseph James DeAngelo Jr., the Golden State Killer, known by many other names, such as the original Night Stalker, is one of California's most notorious serial killer rapists.
He is a former police officer, dangerous, and widely known for stalking and taunting both victims and law enforcement. He's been able to get away with at least 50 rapes, 13 murders, and 120 burglaries, but his trail goes cold over 3 decades.
But advances in technology eventually turn the tide against him. In a radical move, investigators upload the killer's DNA profile to a public genealogy site
and locate a fourth cousin of the killer. From there, they create a family tree and narrow down their search to find DeAngelo.
DeAngelo is arrested and finally in June 2020 pleads guilty to 13 counts of first-degree murder and 13 counts of kidnapping in a deal to avoid the death penalty. He receives multiple consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Cadner watches the progress of the Golden State Killer case and sees the similarities with his Kalitsky-Bogle case.
And Cadner has DNA, the microscopic slide of Patricia Kalitsky's vaginal swab taken at her autopsy in 1956. And back in 2001, Detective Phil Madison did work with the swab sample at the Montana State Crime Lab.
At the time, it was all he could do, but now technology seems to have caught up.
The DNA was on a glass slide, and it was semen from Patty's body. It was recovered in 1956. So that scientist that swabbed that slide in 2002 only swabbed half of it. So the other half was still viable, which ended up being a game changer for this case.
Cadner seeks out the same forensic service provider, which are instrumental in solving the Golden State Killer case. They undertake further testing on the single sperm cell taken from Patricia Kalitsky's body over 60 years earlier.
The DNA profiles entered into the public genealogy database, and they reverse engineer a family tree to find the owner of the profile.
Then investigators work to determine who could be a viable suspect.
It was really fascinating how quickly their genetic genealogist was able to start building that family tree, because obviously they feed that sample into these databases and then they come back with potential still living relatives. Based off those relatives, they start researching open source information on the internet and they start to build that family tree backward and then ultimately determine who that potential suspect is. So they want to link up at least 3 individuals that are still living to that one individual, and they call that a triangulation.
And the process turns up 3 people genetically compatible with the same taken from Patricia Kalitsky. One of them is Great Falls native Kenneth Gold.
and getting that information was probably one of the most exciting experiences of my career. But ultimately, that's only an investigative lead. That basically starts a whole new portion of your investigation, because now you have to try to determine if that individual is still alive.
And Kenneth Gould is dead.
He dies over 10 years earlier at the age of 79, and his body is cremated.
I wasn't sure how they were going to react when I came to them saying, "Hey, your dad's a suspect in this case." But they were great to work with.
They obviously did not believe that their father was involved, but they were cooperative. They gave the DNA sample, and that led to the match.
DNA swabs from Kenneth Gould's children linked their father to the murders.
The Gould family is in shock. A murderer and rapist is not the father they knew. The suspect is a surprise to everyone, including police. They weren't looking for a person like Gould.
They were focused on that monster. They were looking for that serial killer. It didn't appear that they were looking that it could be a neighbor from that area or somebody that may have been infatuated with Patty. They were really focused on the criminals who maybe had a history of murder or violent crime.
Those who knew Gould can't believe he is capable of murder.
Now police go back in time to track Gould's history and make sense of the man whose DNA points to the killer next door.
A better banking app is right at your fingertips. Download Dave, and you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less, right through your phone. There's no interest, no credit checks, and no late fees. Because getting help shouldn't set you back. Switch to the banking app made for you, and you can get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. Download the Dave app now, or go to dave.com today.
I was seeing this bra all over my Instagram feed. I'm sure you're seeing it too.
This is the most comfortable bra I've ever put on in my life. I love it because, one, it's not underwire. I hate underwire. It smooths out your back. It doesn't give you back fat or back rolls. You can wear this under a t-shirt and it wouldn't leave any marks or bulges. So not only is it super supportive, lifting and smoothing, but you have all that without an underwire and without a ton of padding.
So if you're looking at this and it's available, I promise you won't regret it.
Try risk-free. Free returns on all orders.
Tired muscles and joints were keeping me from my family. Now I can be myself again. Blue Emu supports healthy muscles and joints.
Shop our expanded family of products at major online retailers.
I was never able to find a bra that fit my small chest. Every bra gave me gaps or made me feel like I wasn't enough. It was something society taught us to be embarrassed about. Small-chested women deserve better. So I designed a bra that finally fits AA to B cups perfectly, and a brand that empowers women to celebrate their bodies exactly as they are. No more cup gaps or looking 2 sizes bigger. It's not your body that has to change, it's the industry. Meet Pepper. Get up to